Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, let's explore how to automate day-to-day DevOps activities using Amazon Q Developer CLI. If you are someone who is taking care of DevOps activities in your organization, this video can enhance your productivity multiple times. So just make sure you watch this video till the end. Also, I have a couple of interesting demos towards the end. Make sure you don't miss them as well. Before we get started, I should thank Amazon for collaborating on this deep dive. Let's get started. Now, just like every time, let's start with understanding what is it and why is it important from DevOps point of view. Amazon Q Developer CLI is an agentic AI assistant in your CLI that can help you with your day-to-day tasks. It can be provisioning a Kubernetes cluster or maybe spinning up infrastructure on AWS. It can also help you with your queries. While working on DevOps activities, if you run into any issues, you can make use of Amazon Q Developer CLI to unblock yourself. On top of all this, it can also deal with your large code bases, understand them well, and help you enhance the code base. This can be your application code base, it can be your infrastructure code base, or even scripts that you have written for maintenance. This is very important because a lot of DevOps engineers fail to understand the application code base and they find it difficult to troubleshoot, build issues during deployment. Amazon Q Developer CLI can help them get familiar with the code base. Now you might have a question, Abhishek, when we have bunch of AI agents that can integrate into IDE, why do we need Amazon Q Developer CLI? It probably brings same experience to the terminal, but why exactly do we need it? Now this is definitely an important question. Let me explain this to you. If you're working on DevOps activities, you spend a lot of time on the terminal than the time that you spend on IDE. For example, you might be working on updating some YAML manifests or maybe looking at issues related to your YAML manifests. You might be working on running some shell commands or even maybe running some Git commands. You might be performing troubleshooting on your lower environment or troubleshooting issues with your production environment, even using AWS CLI to invoke AWS APIs and spin up infrastructure. In all of these cases, I bet you would prefer terminal over IDE. So that's why you need such experience from the CLI. That is exactly what Amazon Q Developer CLI brings onto the table. On top of all this, what I really like about Amazon Q Developer CLI is its unique features. One thing that I really liked about it, it allows you to create multiple agents. While working on DevOps activities, you tend to work on Kubernetes, Terraform, maybe Git. For each of these tools or for each of your day-to-day activity, you can create an AI agent using Amazon Q Developer CLI. For example, you can create a Kubernetes agent, a Terraform agent, a Git agent, and for all of these agents, you can provide unique instructions and unique context. Apart from that, you can also use Amazon Q Developer CLI with best context management. Now, every time I talk about AI agents, I talk about context management. The reason is that you don't want your AI agent to generate some random code for you or to dump any random code at you, but you want your AI agent to generate code according to the context. That is exactly what you can do with Amazon Q Developer CLI context management. And it also allows you to create this context at different levels. For example, you can create it across multiple sessions using their agent resource. You can also create context local to a session, which is called session context. And you can also provide a knowledge base. Let's say you are dealing with a large code base and you want to work with Amazon Q Developer CLI with such large code base. You can also provide a knowledge base, which will also remain across different sessions. So you can do very good context management with Amazon Q Developer CLI. This will enhance your efficiency, also performance while using AI agents. It also helps you with agent hooks. This is a very unique feature. Typically, you can automatically execute shell commands at specific trigger points and include their output as context. I'll provide more details about agent hooks, and I'm also planning to make a dedicated video about it because this is very unique to Amazon Q Developer CLI. The last for today, but very important thing about Amazon Q Developer CLI is that it supports Claude Sonnet 4 model. I'm sure many of you know Claude Sonnet 4 is one of the best reasoning models out there. So when you're working with complex DevOps tasks, let's say you're working with a complex Terraform activity, instead of just generating a boilerplate for you, it can help you set up Terraform. It can help you generate the exact resource code that you're looking for and also steps to install those resources. This is the best part. Now let's see how to install Amazon Q Developer CLI, and then let's also try it out with couple of DevOps tasks. When it comes to installation, a lot of people think to use Amazon Q Developer CLI, they need AWS paid tier account. It's actually not true. You can download Amazon Q Developer CLI and you can authenticate using your AWS Builder ID for absolutely free of cost. Let me show you how you can do it. Just use the link in the description or pinned comment. You will get to this page. Click on Get Started for free. Scroll down, you will find an option that is command line. Click on command line. So on this page, you will find instructions to install Amazon Q for command line. I'm using Mac OS, so I'll just go with download Amazon Q command line for Mac OS. And this will install a DMG file for me. All that I have to do is double click, follow the instructions, and I have Amazon Q Developers for CLI installed. Now, once this is installed, you would need to create AWS Builder ID. Again, you can follow the same page. You will get the link to create AWS Builder ID. Perfect. I downloaded the DMG. I added it to applications, and I also have my AWS Builder ID. Now on the new terminal, I'll just run qchat to see response back from Amazon Q Developer CLI. Perfect. It says you are chatting with Claude Sonnet 4. Let's quickly test it. I'll ask it to generate a very simple command. Generate Linux command to list files. This is just to test if everything is installed and configured well. I'm guessing it would return ls command. Perfect. It returned ls command with all the possible parameters. It's great. I can also connect to it in a non-interactive way. Instead of using qchat, connecting, and then providing the instruction, waiting for the response, I can just do the same thing, but in a non-interactive way. Qchat, within double quotes, I can just say generate Linux command to list files. And this time, I will provide this hyphen non-interactive. You can see auto completion that is also coming from Amazon Q Developer CLI. Now when I enter this, we would see almost similar response, but this time, as I told you, in a non-interactive way. Okay, you are chatting with Claude Sonnet 4 and great. So this is how you connect with Amazon Q Developer CLI, interactive way as well as non-interactive way. Now let's put it to the actual test. So I will see if Amazon Q Developer CLI can implement my Terraform project, basically to create an S3 bucket with all the best practices. It can be versioning and all the other important aspects. Now, how do I do that? In the theory part, we learned we can create agents with Amazon Q Developer CLI. So I will create a dedicated Terraform agent. So for this, I will take the interactive approach just to show you the instructions or various commands that you can use. Here, I'll just do /agent followed by help just to see what are the commands that I can pass to /agent. So it says you can list all the available agents. You can create a new agent. You can edit the agent configuration. Let's see what does that mean. And also we can set a particular agent to default. So I'll create one agent now, /agent create hyphen name. Let me call it as demo Terraform agent. So this is the default configuration. These are the agent resources, Amazon Q.md, agents.md, readme.md, and also rules.md file. For example, using this file here or within this location, I can create an MD file and I can define compliance for the agent. For example, agent should not access particular directories in my system, or maybe I restrict access to the agent to certain commands. I can do all of that within this rules or the MD files within the rules directory. Great. I'll go with default configuration for now. It says agent demo Terraform agent has been created successfully. Any changes takes effect on the next launch. Although I haven't done any significant changes, I'll still take a new tab. And on this tab, I will connect to QChat back. And let's see if the agent is created. Agent list. Here we go. Demo Terraform agent. It is created successfully. Great. Now, I can also connect to the Terraform agent. Right now, it is connected to the CLI default agent. So it's very simple. When we connect to the QCLI, so I can just pass QChat hyphen agent followed by demo Terraform agent. So this time it will be connected to demo Terraform agent. You can see here. So this is the agent that is in use right now. Okay. We also learned in the theory part, we can provide the agent with the instructions or we can provide agent with the context. It's very simple. You just have to define a file. I have a file here, instructions.md. So within the instructions.md, I just said always use US East 1 region and always create tags on the resources. I also gave example for a tag. Now I'll go back here and I can add this file to the context by just doing /context add instructions.md. That's all. You can add n number of files to the context. This is local context. Context remains till this session. I can also go for agent resource for global context, or if I'm dealing with large code bases, I can also go with knowledge base context. Cool. So now that I have the context, now that I have the agent, let's go ahead and proceed with the task. So I'll just tell this Amazon Q Developer CLI, create or generate Terraform code. I don't even have to say Terraform because it already has the context, but still generate Terraform code to create S3 bucket with all the best practices. Okay, let's see what does it say. Thinking, I will create minimum Terraform code for an S3 bucket following AWS best practices. Allow this action. Use T to trust. Always allow this tool for the session. Yeah, so let's allow this action. This is another advantage. You can trust certain actions and you can also disable trust on certain actions using the agent. What did it say? Terraform configuration files are created. Okay, on the other tab. Let's look at this file s3bucket.tf. If you observe carefully, it created the tag with the same format that we have requested. So tags name is equal to my secure bucket. This is exactly the convention that I requested agent to create the tags with. And also I requested for region US East 1 to consider it. And when it generated the Terraform code for us, it actually considered the region US East 1. Now let's go ahead and see if this script is actually working. So how do I deal with this? I'll create a new folder for now. I'll call it test folder, cd to test. I'll move the s3bucket.tf to this folder and let's run Terraform init. Okay, like if you're not sure about the Terraform commands as well, you can just ask the CLI. It will also help you with the commands. So it started initializing. If you're wondering, Abhishek, how did it get access to the AWS credentials? You don't have to provide any AWS credentials to it. If you have AWS CLI configured on your local machine, it picks up the AWS credentials from the same AWS configure or AWS credentials folder. Right? So Terraform init, it has initialized the configuration and backend configuration. Now, if I just do Terraform plan, so it says I'll be creating the bucket, I'll be enabling versioning on the bucket, I'll also enabling encryption on the bucket. Looks great. Let's do the final check by running Terraform apply. This will tell us if Amazon Q Developer CLI can actually implement a real-time DevOps task for us. Okay, Terraform apply. Yes. Started creating the bucket. Awesome. It generated the random ID with a suffix. Looks like bucket creation is also done. Awesome. Let's head to the AWS console and verify it. Okay, let's head to S3. Perfect. Now within S3, let's go to general purpose buckets. It created my secure bucket followed by the suffix and it created with all the best practices. Let's check it. So if I look at properties, I have the tag name, my secure bucket. Great. Okay. If I look at the bucket permissions, block public access. Great. It also blocked all the public access to this bucket. It is also set up in US East 1, everything that we have requested for. And also it came with an encryption policy. Amazing. So this proves Amazon Q Developer CLI can actually implement Terraform task related to DevOps. Now let's put it to another test. This time, not with respect to AWS, but let's try Kubernetes. Let's see if Amazon Q Developer CLI can troubleshoot my local Kubernetes cluster. This is actually tricky because for any agent to debug and look at issues on the local Kubernetes cluster, it's overwhelming. Let's see how Q's Developer CLI handles this. First, I'll create a kind cluster, kind create cluster, hyphen name. Let's just call it demo cluster Q. In the meanwhile, I will create another agent. This time, QChat. Okay, let's call this agent as Kubernetes agent, K8's agent create hyphen name K8's agent. I leave the configuration to default. Okay, let me get out of it. Let's see if the Kubernetes cluster is created. Awesome. I'll also create an instructions.md file for it. K8's instructions.md. This is not required all the time, but I'm just trying to show you how to create agents and also how to manage context with the agents. Okay, so I'll just say act as a pod doctor and analyze issues with failed pods. Okay. Also, I can just say act as a Kubernetes troubleshooting engineer and provide solutions to the issues. Okay. Now I just provided some basic instructions to it and qchat hyphen agent K8's agent, and again I'll use the session context slash context add K8's instructions.md. Perfect. Now let's create a pod to test this K8's agent. So I'll just create a pod, a vague one, kubectl create deployment nginx hyphen image is equals to nginx followed by the tag does not exist demo. Now I'm just creating a Kubernetes deployment where I'm making sure the pod does not come up by providing wrong container image. Okay, so deployment is created, kubectl get pods. Let me try this. Okay, there is an error. It says error image pull. I'll ask the queue agent, right? So let me ask it, what is the issue with this pod? What is the issue with this pod? Right? Let's see if it says issue is actually error image pull, and also we'll ask it to troubleshoot it. Yeah, I'll trust the agent to perform this action. So I provided T as instruction. Issue identified, pod is failing due to due to invalid image tag, and it says solution is to update the deployment to use a valid image tag. Propose fix the deployment. It says use nginx latest, and it also provided us with the command. Let me take this command, and on the other terminal, let me run this command. Okay, so it says the deployment is patched. Now if I run kubectl get pods, it is in the running state. Perfect. Amazon Q Developer CLI can also fix issues with my Kubernetes cluster. This is how you can use it. I'll provide the documentation link as well in the description because if you're wondering how did I get familiar with these commands, it can be commands to create agent, or it can be commands to operate with this Amazon Q Developer CLI. I followed AWS documentation for a couple of days. Later, I got used to it. Finally, I would like to thank Amazon one more time for collaborating on this deep dive. See you all in the next video. Take care.